Nation of Islam. Great to see you again, sir. Well, welcome once again to Smart Jamaica.
Here.
Yeah, and welcome back to Jamaica.
Thank you.
Why the Nation of Islam in the first place? You were a young man when you joined a long time ago. Why?
Well, you know, as a child from West Indian parents, the Church of England was the church of my mother, so I was in the Episcopal Church. And I loved my church, and I was always concerned about the suffering of black people in America, particularly in the South, and black people suffering throughout the world. And as I grew, I questioned my Sunday school teachers about if God sent somebody to deliver the children of Israel, to deliver the Hebrews in Babylon and all of these suffering people, why has not God sent somebody to deliver us? No answer. And so in my dear Episcopal Church, which I sometimes go back to now, and they allow me to preach, and I thought, well, maybe they are not as conscious of the suffering of black people as I would be comfortable. So my uncle, who was from St. Kitts, he showed me a picture of the Right Honorable Marcus Garvey. But I didn't know that Mr. Garvey was dead. I was, I think, 11 years old. But when he told me that Mr. Garvey had come to unite black people, I wanted to meet Mr. Garvey and follow him. And when my uncle told me that Mr. Garvey was dead, the tears rolled from my eyes. And it was later that I heard Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. And when I heard them, I didn't really want to change my religion as such, but they were so conscious of the suffering of black people that I decided to become a Muslim. But I will close that question with this, that I have never forsaken my church and Jesus. And so as a Muslim, people think we don't believe in Jesus. But the truth of the matter is that if you pick up the Holy Quran and read it, it refers to Jesus, the son of Mary, as the Messiah. The Messiah. That's different than a prophet. And so I feel very comfortable now speaking to both Christians and Muslims and Jews, all the Abrahamic family, because I think it's time that these petty divisions that create denominations, that create more divisions, must be spoken to.
Did you always feel like that? Or you said you have come to understand?
I've grown. Like Paul said, you know, when I was a child, I thought as a child and spoke as a child. But when you become more mature, you see a bigger picture than the narrow concerns of parochial or sectarian views.
Can you just explain to me if there is a difference or the similarities between the Nation of Islam as opposed to Muslims who are Sunni or Muslims who are whatever other denomination?
There are differences, but the similarities are, first, that we believe that Allah is God, and we believe in all of the prophets and the scriptures which they brought. We believe in Prophet Muhammad as the last of the prophets, but we also believe that God, in the person of Farrakhan Muhammad, whom we see as the great Mahdi that was expected by the Muslim world, has visited us and raised from among us a black man, Elijah Muhammad, as his messenger. And as the Quran teaches, God has sent a messenger to every nation. And we are over 40 million in America in the worst condition of black people, period. So we believe that God has given us a messenger to reform us, to guide us, to bring us back to that great position that we once held. And that is the difference.
Can I also ask you, there was a period, maybe through the 80s into the 90s, where you were always in the headlines, you were always being attacked by the establishment, and yet curiously now, when there is something of an anti-Muslim sentiment directed at those outside of America for fear of or because of an association with terrorism, I don't see a negative focus on you. What's happened?
Well, they learned through the presidential campaign of the Reverend Jesse Jackson, when we in the nation supported Reverend Jackson. Then I became a public figure, and they attacked me with some of their most brilliant minds, and every time they attacked me and I won the argument or the debate, black people in America became so happy that black people had a champion that could defeat the argument of these so-called intelligent Caucasian people. And so everywhere I went, thousands and thousands of people came out to hear what I had to say. And this culminated in the Million Man March. And when they saw nearly 2 million black men answer the call of a Muslim, and 86% of those present were Christian, they said, this can never happen again. And they pulled me off the television. And it doesn't matter what goes on, we're not going to talk to Farrakhan. And it's like I died.
Well, so they tried to deny you the oxygen of publicity.
That's right.
So do you think that ultimately, the Million Man March, you're coming to prominence, Jesse Jackson running, the popularity of Oprah, and so on, ultimately led to the change we see in the White House today?
That's part of it. You know, I believe that Barack Obama was selected before he was elected. And when you have kingmakers that want to put a black face on projects that are bigger than the black face, for instance, with Bush and the attack on Iraq on the basis of a lie that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Well, here he was the worst president according to the way the intellectuals viewed him. So now there was a Jewish writer in Chicago who wrote in the paper that as black people thought that Bill Clinton was the first black president, Jews feel that Obama is the first Jewish president. His influence is from that perspective. So when he became president, one of the most beautiful human beings that I have seen is Barack Obama. The way he campaigned was magnificent. However, the moment he got into office, he brought Goldman Sachs people, Timothy Geithner, Larry Summers, all of that crowd to guide him economically, because he is a constitutional lawyer, not an economist. And now they're beating the heck out of him because of the bailout that never bailed out the people that need it most. And because of him, there are drones attacking in Yemen, in Somalia, in Pakistan, and now the Israelis the Zionists are moving him to get America to attack Iran.
But what were your expectations, sir, when he took over as president? What did you want to see Barack Obama do?
To be very honest, before he was elected, they asked me about him. I said he's a fresh face, he's got good ideas, but I am under no illusion that the condition of black people will change because he may be elected president. The one thing that we gained from him was that never again will a little black child think that they cannot rule and govern the biggest, greatest country in the world.
Everyone can have the audacity.
So he gave us that. But since then, I'm sorry, you know, brother does not really do for black people like he does for the gays, like he does for labor, like he does for others. And so this has produced a backlash. And now that election season is coming up, people like Tavis Smiley, Cornel West, and others are trying to encourage him to speak out for the poor, because all of his talk has been that we're losing the middle class, but we never had the poor being serviced. So who will speak for the poor? And that's what made Jesus feared by the Roman authorities, because he spoke for the poor.
In your opinion, will he win again?
I believe he will. I believe he will win again, but at a great cost. I hate to say what I really see, you know, because they hate him so much now that a black man and a beautiful black woman and two beautiful little girls are the first family of racist America. They can't take it. So they want to get him out.
Sir, could you just stay with us a bit? We're going to go